Hello guys, welcome back to Floating Thoughts. If you are new here, my name is Lally and I am your host. If you are not new here, welcome back. Today, I am so excited because I do have another guest for you guys. So I'm so excited for you guys to meet her. Before I let her introduce herself, I do want to say a huge thank you for the last 2 episodes. I think that they did great, and I love having new people on the podcast because I think we can learn a lot from them. So today, I have, give me a drum roll, Raquel.
Hi, everyone.
She was like all loud before we started. Now I think she's getting a little shy, but
Give me a few minutes. I'll get there.
But I'm so excited for you guys to meet her because she has great energy, and we kind of go way back. So
Way back.
I know, right? I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then I want to ask her like a little quick question before we do the little like fun question. So go ahead, take the lead.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, my name is Raquel. Before we get into this whole podcast thing, I just wanted to say that I think what you're doing is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I love it. I've been following you for a while. Again, we go way back. And I love what you do here. I love how you have guests and, you allow people to speak their mind, and the whole concept of floating thoughts. It's an honor. So thank you so much for having me.
I started crying earlier.
Yeah. So let's talk.
So I just kind of want to start by saying like who you are like now, and then who were you growing up?
Ooh. We're going
whichever you want to start off
deep
with.
end. Okay. Who I am now, I think I'm in a season of my life where I'm still figuring that out every day. But I can honestly say that I can look back and see how far I've come.
Yeah.
There's still areas for improvement always. I don't know. Let me see. Growing up, I was a very angry child. Okay. I was a very stubborn, very angry.
You wouldn't be able to tell that.
Very
right
bitter. Yeah, no, exactly. I've grown a lot in that sense, and I feel like, honestly, only God. Only God can do it, and I'm a very outgoing person now. I'm more social than I ever have been. I was very introverted in high school. I was a little choir girl in high school. Oh my gosh. If you weren't in choir, I wouldn't even talk to you. Like, choir was my life.
My clique.
That's the one thing I miss about high school, honestly. Like, it was just choir. It was like, that was my safe space. And I liked it because we didn't even have to talk to each other. We just sang.
Can you give us a little?
Oh, no. No. I was very introverted. I was very, again, to myself. I didn't want to talk to nobody. Didn't want to be bothered. And I mean, I was nice. If you talk to me, I talk back. But other than that, now I feel like I make conversation with anybody everywhere I go. And now I look back and I'm like, wow, like I'm different in a good way, in a very good way. I'm happy with who I am now. Again, there's always area for improvement, but I'm very happy with who I'm becoming. So that's all that matters.
Period. What year do you remember us like kind of meeting? Because I feel like I want to say elementary, but then
I think it was elementary. We never really talked like that though. But like we'd say hi and bye. Yeah. But because we were in the same school practically growing up until graduation, we just kind of knew who we were. Yeah. As in the hallways. But did we ever have a class together?
I feel like we did. Well, I was in choir. Were you in choir 5th?
Girl, I was in choir
your whole life.
My whole life.
No, did you have, what's her name? Is Henneke? No.
Yeah.
Did you go? You went to Plummer.
I went to Plummer.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I went to Plummer.
So I think we had choir.
Probably.
That's the only one I think I could remember because I don't think we had.
I remember those choir years though.
I don't remember like classes after like ninth grade. I remember my teachers, but after that, I don't know, trauma probably.
Yeah, trauma. My brain blocked out the rest. Again, I was a very angry person. When you're angry, you don't see things like really, like,
no, that's true.
Very angry and just very not at peace, very far from God.
Well, you made a good point. Before I go back into something that you said, I kind of want to ask. This is like raw content right now because what raw. Is your? I kind of want us to give our first impression of one another when we first met, if you remember it.
I always remembered you. I would look at you and I thought you were, I still do. I thought you were gorgeous. Like, I really did. I remember, if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were in Marisol.
Yes.
I thought y'all were so pretty.
Oh,
like, I still do.
She's
but,
like,
man,
back then,
up,
I don't know what happened
up,
now.
like, with this curly hair, I was a little emo girl in 9th grade. I had a little emo phase. Like, I would just see y'all and I'm like, they're so pretty. Like, they're so pretty. You, Melanie, what's her name? Cecilia,
Reyes, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Cecilia, Marisol. I would look at y'all.
She's gonna start naming everybody.
Yes, Teresa.
Oh yeah, she was on Teresa.
Y'all were those girls.
Thank you.
But again, I was very introverted. I was like,
You know what's crazy? I was thinking about it before because I had planned to ask you this question because I feel like a lot of people hide from the fact that, like, people are gonna have, like, as much as we don't want to judge other people, I feel like it's just a natural thing because judgment has such a negative connotation. Like, some people just think it has to be negative, but it doesn't. Like, you have good judgment towards somebody. Exactly. And I was thinking about it. I was like, what was my first impression of her? And it's so crazy because you just said the emo thing, right? Let me go back. I thought raw. No, just joking.
No, go ahead. I'm here for it.
What's so crazy is that, again, it's so interesting to see how we have different perceptions of ourselves.
Yes.
Because I thought that you were so unapologetically you.
I mean,
like, in the sense, like, you say, like, you were angry and stuff. I never viewed you as angry, even, like, in your emo phase.
I was very goofy. I was a goofy angry, and that's the thing, that it was very conflicting because being at school was like, ha ha, hee hee, all smiles and this, but then, like, once after school was a whole different story. I had a really rough childhood growing up, so it was like, in a way, choir was like, again, my escape, and like, we were all together. We had choir rehearsals. It was like our own little community. But going home, it was, like, completely different. Like, I was just, ugh. And I feel like that's why I was very unapologetically me, because I didn't want others to feel, you don't know. Like, you don't know, like, what happens after school. Like, everyone has a life outside of school.
Yeah.
And I just thought, just be kind. I was very angry internally, but I'd never projected that to others.
Yeah.
Because it's like, the world is ugly enough.
And that speaks a lot about you.
And at the time, I felt like the world owed me something. And, girl, it don't owe me nothing. Nothing.
No, but I think it was, like, I feel like even at the time, like, that we grew up, I feel like it's so easy. Like, now, obviously, we hear a lot about, like, bullying and things like that, just for people expressing themselves. And I think, like, you really did not care.
I didn't care.
And I think I really loved that about you. Like, I didn't care, you that way.
At the same time, it was like, because I didn't care, I knew others didn't either. And so it was kind of like, it was more in that sense, like, I'm just going to save my breath. Because it's like, even if I were to tell you something, you don't have the capacity to, like, fully grasp what it is I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
So it's like a waste of time. I mean, you go your way, I go mine. We're here for one thing only. Excuse me.
You're fine.
And I was like, I'm not going to bother. Again, I didn't care. But I've always been very kind. I will say, I don't think I've ever bullied anybody or, intentionally did it or had any nasty intentions or was nasty with anybody. Just because, again, it was just like, I had my people that I didn't like. We have opinions on people.
Name them. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
no, just kidding. I'm joking.
But thank you. Oh, that means a lot to me. I always wondered how people saw me, and back then, we're all versions of ourselves that we don't know each other.
Yeah,
like, we're all strangers.
But I do think that's like, it's so. I always love hearing, like, what we think of ourselves and versus, like, what others, because I think it's like what. I don't know. I just think it's so interesting.
We're our own worst critic. I will say that. We're
yes,
our own worst critic, and you can sit here and tell me, "Oh my God, you're amazing. You're this and that," and I'm like, "Girl, no,
like,
no."
Thanks. I hate
like,
myself.
thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, but
yeah,
it's refreshing to get another person's perspective on you.
What was your? I know you say that you were, like, an angry child growing up. What was the pivot point of when you, like, kind of were like, this is not getting me anywhere, or was there experience that happened?
The pivot point was honestly after high school, when real world stuff started happening. Like
in college, or like just
in college and just in general. But in college, you meet people, like all people from all different ages.
Yeah.
And you surround yourself with, like, grown-ups that are also trying to do their own thing, and they have their own goals, and at the end of the day, you just realize that we're all just trying to make it. Like, we're all just living out here one day at a time. And being angry, it took so much energy, and I was so tired all the time. Girl, I would go to school, go to work, and I come home, sleep. I had no social life, so that didn't help either. Like, I had no social life because I didn't have the energy for it.
Yeah.
And so any little free time that I had, I chose to do nothing. Like, I would just go home, sleep. that's why depression room is a thing, because it's a mess. Like, you just don't have the energy to clean. You don't have the energy to do anything. And then you just get to a point where it's like, nothing changes if nothing changes. Like, it's accountability. You got to sit back and be like, okay, what am I doing that is not letting me get to where I want to be? Mm-hmm. And when you realize that and you really sit down and reflect and look at what it is that you're doing, you're like, okay, this isn't working anymore. Let's try this. Let's try it. If it doesn't work, then we'll take another route. But other than that, you're not gonna get nowhere. And it just, again, getting close to God, like, really, 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 that changed me a lot too. Because I was trying to do it on my own, and I got nowhere each and every time. So I was like, well, let's try it with God this time. And God showed up in so many different ways that at the time, because of anger, I couldn't tell and see. I was like, nah, this is ridiculous. Like, I was just so angry, so in my head, just so bitter. And then when I finally started opening up, I was like, wow, like, it ain't all that bad out here.
It's a little different.
It's a little different. Like, you see that little light at the end of the tunnel, and it's motivating. You see it's hope, and that's really all we can have is hope and faith, and that's the whole point of faith. It's just trust God.
And you know what? I think it's an interesting point, because I know a lot of people hate that term of, like, there's light at the end of the tunnel. But it's because, and I think I've said it in one of my previous ones, gave flashbacks. But I think it's like, at the moment when you're, like, going through something, whatever it is, I feel like everything just sounds so either cliche, or it just sounds like, shut up already.
But see, that's the point of cliches, because I used to see cliches like that too. I'm like, oh my gosh, shut up. Like, I've heard it all the time. And again, coming from an angry place. But until you lived it, and you understand why it's a cliche, why it's such a saying, why everyone says it, because it's true. Like, it's so true. You can try to deny it all you want, but at the end of the day, when it happens to you, it's like, wow, like, those people were right. Those people that would say all those cliches were right. And it's like, okay, I won't be so quick to judge next time. Yeah. It's a very humbling experience, I'll say that. Yeah,
no. And I think I'm glad you got out of that situation.
Girl, yes, I am not the same person at all. Like, and I'm young. Like, I'm very young. I'm barely turning 26 April. So, and I feel I'm turning 26, but I feel like I'm 35. I feel like I've been here a very long time, but that's because of experience, you know. And it's like, man, like, to think of all the experiences I have yet to have and all the people I have yet to meet. It's like you gotta see the cup half full. Because I was always such a negative person. I was so pessimistic, and I thank God that, like, he put certain people in my life that were optimistic, and I thought they were so annoying at first. That's, again, like, coming from it's hard to outgrow these habits that's all you've known and you're familiar with since, growing up. But it's true, like, you just have to try to be pessimistic. And God will do wonders with that. With just you trying just a little bit, he'll move mountains. It's the faith the size of a mustard seed.
I literally agree with that. I can relate so much, because growing up, I think I've said it before too, I grew up as such an angry child too. And I remember my mom was super into like God at the time, and still is, but every little thing when she's like, leave it to God, give it to God, I'd be like, no, like, you tell me what to do. Like, you're my mother. But it's like, just like that it's too. The fact that, like, it is really like they know better, but it's also at that moment, like, you're not going to see it until.
But I also feel like the reason why our moms were like that is because, one, they're older, so they have way more experience. They've lived life way longer than we have. Yeah. And at the time, being a kid, you're so oblivious. You're so, like, you don't know much. You think you know everything, but you don't know a thing. Yes. So it takes, unfortunately, you have to go through things for you to see things differently. Because I can sit here all day and be like, Lally, don't do this, don't do that. I've done it before. I know how it's going to end. I know the outcome. And you're like, nah, it's going to be different.
Let me try it,
Yeah, and then you do it. You do what I tell you not to do, and what happens, and you're like, okay, now I know better for next time. And that's just how it is.
It's like sometimes. A little cycle.
You have to go through things.
It's
unfortunate.
Do you, did your mom go to, St. John?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay. I feel like everybody in Fallbrook went to St. John.
Is that the one that... Hold on, wait a minute. Is that the church that's hidden in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Yes, she did. We went there for a little bit. Oh, man, I haven't stepped foot in that church in a minute. I forgot the name of it. No.
Yeah, I feel like everybody that I knew...
I think I've seen you there a few times. I think it was like an Ash Wednesday. We were praying together.
No, I think I remember... I for sure remember your mom, like, walking around Doss Park, but...
Yeah.
I think I've
that
seen
was my part. I love them.
I know, running. We'd go running.
Now that park scares me.
No, there's some weird people there sometimes.
You know, they had the basketball hoops and the little area.
Like,
well, a lot of bad stuff started happening there, so they had to remove those basketball hoops. Now I think it's like a volleyball setup. I don't know. It's a lot. That park has changed so much. I still live down the street from there, and I don't go there.
At a basketball, what's there happening?
I think that park was. I think at some point, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it open 24 hours at one point?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was open 24 hours. Now they have a curfew, and like unless they have a game, that's different. But like they have a curfew, and they're like no, because a lot of people were starting to get robbed, mugged, like held at gunpoint. It was bad, girl. It was bad. I'm telling you, I'm in the trenches.
Okay, so don't go to Dawes Park anymore.
Go to Dawes Park in the morning, in the afternoon, but once it starts to get dark, do not go to Dawes Park.
I haven't gone there in a long time, but I did not know that.
Yeah, they had to remove the basketball hoops because of that. So I'm like,
not the basketball hoops.
I'm like,
not them stealing the basketball hoops, taking them to their house.
For real.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
No, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
But so now I kind of want to do. I know you guys seen this in the last 2 episodes. Also, before I continue, I do want to say that my mic stand broke, so we are improvising today. So I'm holding this. If you guys kind of hear a little like weird sounds, it's just me. I talk with my hands a lot, so. We're trying something new, and it's a little heavy, if I'm being honest. So I'm just being real with you guys. But I am going to do the little box.
Ooh, I'm excited.
So I'm gonna have you pick out a little
oh my god, I'm excited
here, and it could be like a deep question. It could be funny or whatever the case may be.
Okay, let's do
if
it.
you need time, we'll just turn off the hope. I'm just kidding. We'll just take your time.
Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh, this is a long one. Imagine you're a superhero. What's your name, your powers, and your costume? Ooh,
that's a good one.
Name. You know what? I've never thought about name. I always thought about like powers and stuff. Powers would be, I'd say invisibility.
Yeah?
For a number of reasons.
Why?
So invisibility because it's like if I'm in a situation that where I just want to get out of, it's like immediately I can just be invisible. And I can mess with people. Paranormal stuff.
So not actual like...
I'd be like a cat, like just like knock stuff over the...
You're gonna be like, you know, to save this, to save that. You're like, no.
Or if I'm if I'm in a place with like a lot of people and I'm just like my social battery just runs out and I just want to get out of there and I just need a break for a little bit, I can just go to the corner and turn invisible for a little bit and watch. Just people watch. People watch a lot.
So then that would be perfect. Yeah, perfect superpower for you.
Yeah, costume. Ooh, something like Elastigirl. I don't have the body, but you know.
We can keep the costume.
Keep the costume. Something like that. My name. I don't know.
Do you think he would make it like something similar to your name, or would it be totally like?
I don't know. I'm thinking of something with an R, but all that comes to mind is Rebel.
That's not a bad one. That's not a bad one. It depends though. Like I feel like if you would be like a superheroes are supposed to help, but like it would be what is it called? What is that word? It would contradict like the you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I don't know. I don't like this question. It's very
that was a good one though. Okay, wait.
What about you?
So I thought about this one.
Okay.
I don't think I thought about my name yet.
Uh-huh.
But I'm obsessed with the Grinch, so if you guys don't know that.
Oh,
so
yes.
my outfit would literally be green and it would be fuzzy. And it would be like the total opposite of, you know, like when you look at superhero like women, like they have like this, mine would be like fuzzy and like I really want the Grinch feet.
So basically the Grinch.
But like my face, you know? And I would want like, but like, okay, this doesn't sound bad, but like, you know when the Grinch wears like the clothes? Uh-huh. I don't want the clothes. I want just full green, fuzzy. I want the nails and the feet to look just like the Grinch.
Fun fact, anytime that I see the Grinch, because I know that you're like obsessed with the Grinch. Anytime, whether I'm in Marshalls or TJ Maxx, you know they be having the most random things, and I see the Grinch, I literally think of you. Like,
that makes me so happy. Actually,
you're the only person I know that is like that. I can like associate the Grinch with like that immediately.
Oh my god, because
you post it so much, and I watch, and I'm like, oh, she loves the Grinch. It's a good. I
love the Grinch, but I'll tell you guys why I love the Grinch. But my superpowers. Okay, have you seen The Umbrella Academy?
No.
Okay.
I have not.
Me kind of either. Like, I started it. But there's this one, I think it's a guy. I don't know. He's number 5, I think. That's all I remember. He is literally so freaking cool, but, like, I don't know what his superpower is. I just know that he does, like, he can be in multiple places at one time. Okay. And it's, like, a little kid, and he just, like, kills everybody in, like, seconds.
Oh, God.
But anyways, either...
That took a turn.
But you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know?
No, yeah.
But, like, also... Okay, so I'm between that one, and then... Do you watch, like, X-Men?
Yes, of course.
You know Jean?
Yes.
Her. So it would like completely be the opposite because Jean is like so pretty and so whatever, but I'd be the Grinch with Jean's powers. Okay. You know? And then my name, I feel like it would be like me. I feel like it'd have to be something like Grinchy, but like, let me think. Maybe like the fuzz or something, you know? Like when I land, it's like the fuzz. That'd be me. That would be me. I'm going with that. Also, like for the Grinch,
the fuzz is coming.
No, you know. Like I feel like you would think it's somebody bad or something, but it's like no, it's literally me. And literally, I thought about this
like
too.
A plague. You got a bad case of the fuzz.
But you know what? I've literally thought about my stand too. Like you know when the Grinch is like, ooh, ooh, that would be me when I land. So yeah, I thought about this question actually. So the fuzz, Grinch outfit, and then Jean's power.
You make me regret my answer.
No.
Yours is way better.
Well, I had time to think about that one. So you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
That's a good question.
I used to want to be able to read people's minds, but then I'm like, no, I'm good. I'd rather not.
I think everybody at some point did, but I think now that I'm like you, I feel like no. Yeah, no. Also, I'm very sensitive.
Yeah, I'm very
sensitive. So I'm
sensitive.
like, oh my gosh, like.
I'd be a crash out every day.
No, same. Like I would not work. I would not be a superhero.
Yeah,
like you need me?
I'd be the villain.
I heard what you said about me. So no, I wouldn't. Exactly. I didn't even do that. Have you seen Captain America yet?
Yeah.
Did you like
the new
it?
one?
Yeah.
I have not. I haven't been to the movies in a while. The last time I went to the movies was to go watch Just Another Day. Or Just Another Day with Keke Palmer. And
did you like it?
It was good.
I liked it.
That's a movie with to go watch with your homegirls though.
Did you? What do you rate it?
I would say 7.5 out of 10.
Really?
The acting was amazing. SZA's beautiful. Keke Palmer and SZA are both beautiful. They're gorgeous. It was funny, but I don't know. It wasn't long enough for me. It was quick. I mean, it was that entertaining and it just flew by. But yeah, I don't know. It was good. I liked it overall.
I rated it 5, but I think I agree with 2 things. I agree with the acting was good. I did not. SZA surprised me in a way because I didn't think she could act. No shade. Yeah. But I just didn't think she could act. And then I kind of saw Keke Palmer because Keke Palmer has a high personality. Yes. And I kind of think SZA took that role for a little bit from her.
I feel like they downplayed her a little bit because Keke does have a big personality. But yeah, the storyline was good though. No spoilers, but it was good.
The one I was really excited to see though was Cat Williams because I feel like, and then that's what disappointed me too because I just saw it for a little bit.
I expected him a bigger part.
Yes, exactly. So I was kind of like, it was okay. Yeah, it was me like it was good. It was.
Have you seen Captain America?
I have.
Is it good?
It was really good.
Girl, I believe that. They're all. I love Marvel movies.
I do think it's getting a little bit of like backlash. Because I don't know why. I want to say because they took off, what's his name? Chris Evans?
Chris Evans. Did they?
Yeah, it's not him. It's, what's his name?
What?
Anthony Banks?
I didn't know that.
Sorry, Anthony.
Know that. If you're watching this, Anthony, we're sorry.
If you're watching this, I'm sorry. I forgot your name. So he's the new Captain America, right? Yeah.
And I didn't know that. Wow, see, that's how long it's...
But he did great. He did great. You did great, Anthony.
We love you.
He did good. I think that's why I was seeing people's what is it called? Somebody like on my story was like, "Oh, it sucked. Like, don't waste your time on it." And so then I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't." But when I watched it, I don't know where they were coming from. But I think it's because when some people just get in like captivated by like certain actors, and they're like, "I can only see that person."
Yeah.
Maybe it's that.
Okay, not so much for the storyline, but
Yeah.
like the person,
So
actor.
I think maybe it's that, but I could be wrong. Maybe. And
we don't adapt well to change like that.
No, I know. I mean, and then some people were saying about it was like too political.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that, but it was from, what's his name? The black guy?
Yes.
The black guy. Saying that it wasn't like America, like, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not even gonna speak on it because I'm not too sure. But
no,
I heard that it was. I'm like, how?
Maybe I missed it. Like, well, it was. I think it did have its like political sides of it, but I kind of feel like most of Marvel movies do. Like, it has something.
I'm like,
she's trying so hard to do
what's
that.
the tea?
With Captain America. No,
Yeah.
I think that from what I remember, because I'm not, don't come for me, because I am like not really big in Marvel, but like I watch them, okay? But I feel like every time I watch a Marvel movie, it has something to do with like the presidency, like you have to be friends with the president or something. So I feel like it didn't really change that for me. I felt like I was watching the same thing. I didn't think Donald
I feel like
Trump
people
or
just
anything.
try to make it political.
It shows like power structures. And
That's Kenny behind the scenes.
even though these people have superpowers and if they wanted to can take over like the world, how the government still wants to be in control.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay. So reality.
So, exactly.
Yeah.
So y'all need us. Like,
Yeah.
we're trying to help, but y'all trying to use us and take the benefit.
Oh, okay.
Now, let me give him the mic.
Here you go. Okay, so maybe if y'all heard him, that's kind of what they were saying, I think, too. But I was enjoying it. I didn't think there was anything. Actually, so we went to movies a lot this year, and I think it's it was like my top movie that I've seen.
Really? See, so. I used to go to the movies every weekend with my dad. Like every weekend, that was our thing. Dinner and movies. And I would know everything that was playing always, because I'd be the one to pick it out.
Yeah.
But now, like after COVID happened and everything shut down, like we go to the movies maybe like once every 4 months. It's rare, and I just don't know what's playing anymore. Like I have no idea.
So I'm gonna go watch Captain America next.
Yeah, I'm gonna go watch Captain America now.
No,
and
you
I'll
should.
come back. Be like, you know what? This
Leave
is why
a
they
comment.
said
What's it
that.
called? Leave 100 comments below so she can come back and let you guys know about Captain
Yeah.
America. So I kind of want to also do something new that I haven't done in I know you're special.
I'm so excited.
That I haven't done in the past episodes, especially for season 2. So I kind of wanted to have season 2 to be more like same thing as far as for like things that we don't talk about, but also like pick your brain a little bit. And I think I like having different opinions and people and having this thing. So besides the little questions, I think my purpose was for like, the questions to kind of get to know her a little bit, but also kind of have like a little fun with them. Okay. So now I have this little box, okay? Ooh. And there's a snake. No, just kidding. There's a snake. And there's 2 cards in here, okay? With 2 different numbers. One of them might be like a deep question, and one of them might be just kind of like not a regular question, but like not as deep. Okay. And I just want to pick your brain as like your thoughts in it. Okay. It could be as deep. We don't have to agree. I want to say that we don't have to agree.
We're gonna fight.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I have the boxing gloves right now. I'm just kidding. So it's just 2 numbers. I didn't make it like 1 or 2 because I feel like people get super. Please zoom in as me. I'm struggling to get these 2. No, but so I have 7 and 9. Okay.
Okay. Ooh.
Which one do you think?
I'm gonna go with 7 because my
your lucky number?
birthday is April 7th.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So for 7, we have. Okay. Oh, I was gonna say you're gonna answer both.
Oh, okay.
But we're just gonna start either with the hard one or the easy one. Okay. So first one is kind of something that we talked about, which is actually interesting. So what idea do people have of you, and do you think it's pretty accurate, or what would you change?
Oh, that's so interesting. Because exactly yesterday, I kind of had a conversation like this with a friend of mine, and he was telling me that I was very. First, let me start off by saying I'm coming from a humble place. Like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything. But he was telling me how, because I was feeling down. You know, life it does that. Mm-hmm. And he was saying that he wished that I saw myself the way that he sees me, which was very intelligent and very funny, very outgoing, and very caring. And I can see that because when I go out with my friends and stuff, I'm the mom of the group. I'm Mama Bear. Like, I don't drink like that, at least not anymore. But I'm always making sure everyone's okay, everyone's good. And that's just me. They'll be in their own little world. No one asks me to do that. Mm-hmm. That's just me.
Yeah.
And I've been told that I'm very outgoing, charismatic, very funny. I like to be funny. I like to make others laugh. And I do agree with, you know, when people tell me, like, I am funny, because I am funny. I'm hilarious.
I make myself
I giggle all the time. Intelligent, yeah, I do think I'm an intelligent person. I do feel like I have my moments where I'm like, dang, like, you knew better. You know, you knew better. You could have done better. This is not our first rodeo. But either way, like, it just, again, it was a canon event. Just had to happen.
Yeah.
Character development.
We're working on her.
Yeah, I'm a work in progress. So yeah, I do agree with people's perception of me, but that's only because that's what they see.
Okay.
That's what I want to get into. I'm getting on the mic.
What is it? It was like, here's the change in voice.
Exactly. Like, you see what I choose to show you, which is, you know, everybody does that. But when I'm alone, which is a lot, it's different. Like, you don't see that side of me where I'm like reflecting. Reflecting is good. You know, that's how you can tell how far you've come. But it's like, dang, like, I didn't deserve that. You know, I should have had more grace with myself. I should have been more patient with myself, not so hard on myself. Because, again, we're our biggest critics. But looking back, I'm like, man, like, I should not have beat myself up that way. Like, I didn't know any better at the time. You know, as you're getting older, there are times where it's like, you know better, and yet you still do it. And then you get mad of the outcome when it's like, there's no one to be really mad at but yourself because you knew better. But at the same time, that's where grace comes in. And it's like, I try to be as graceful with me because I know God is very graceful with me. He's very, very, very patient with me. And I need to be more like that. You can't strive for a relationship with God and then not apply it to your life and your life, because you won't see God that way. That's not how it works. So that's what I'm learning right now, is be more gracious with myself and patient. And when people tell me good things about myself, I need to learn how to accept the compliment and be like, no, like, no, you're just saying that just to say that. No, like, it's people, again, because me, when I give people compliments, I say that sincerely, like genuinely.
You mean it.
So it's like, how am I going to think that when I say something to someone, I mean it sincerely, but when people say it to me, it's like, oh, no.
They're just saying it to say,
it doesn't work that way. It's a one-way street, and that's inconclusive.
You know what? I feel like... Am I talking to myself? No, I'm just kidding. No, but I feel like it's interesting because when I was younger, I think I recently started learning that as well. But when I was younger, I would hate compliments. Yeah. And you know what's a big one? I would always say, like, if someone said, oh my God, you're really pretty. A lot of people have the custom to say, like, oh, you're really pretty too, right? I would never say that. Not because I didn't think that they weren't pretty, but I just thought that I didn't want them to think that I was just saying it because
they said something to me.
And then I would also overthink it because then I was like, oh my gosh, I should have told them because I also...
Girl, that's me at the bar. Like, I tell everybody, like, you are gorgeous. And I'm like, oh my God, you're so gorgeous. I'm like, thank you, babe. Like, I'll accept it now. Like, I've learned to accept compliments. But it's like, there's still that part of me that's like, you're just saying that because I said something to you. And that's a horrible mindset to have.
It is.
Because it's like, we need to spread more love. Because it kind of
breaks you.
Hate is such a wildfire to spread, like, but love is hard. Like, love is hard.
Yes. And you know, that's what I was gonna get into because you were saying how, like, you're like, oh, not to toot my own horn, and you know this, and I want to say, like, it's so crazy that if someone we claim, like, self-love, right? And we're always like, love yourself, be nice, be kind to yourself. Oh my gosh, you're but then when you start doing it, they're like, oh my gosh, she's so cocky.
She's so full of herself.
I can't believe, like, you're not even intelligent. You're so dumb. You're an airhead. But it's because, like, it's so easy for us to just... for people to come off across, like, as cocky, and it's easier for us to say that. But it's kind of, like, also contradicting what you just said. Like, we want to say... Yeah, and I think it should be more normalized. Like, it gets to a point where something can be cocky, and I think you would know.
Exactly.
But whenever someone is just saying, like, oh, no, I think I'm a very smart person, and that's why I made this decision, or whatever it is, I don't think that should be shunned upon.
That's true. That is very true. I do agree. And I hate that I have to preface, like, say that first before I get into talking about myself. But it's like, in today's world, like, people are nasty.
Yeah, rude.
People are so nasty. But I think it all comes down to having that safe space as well.
Yeah.
Feeling like you can open up. You're not just going to go up to a stranger down the street and be like, I'm awesome.
Yeah, no, facts. That's
like,
true.
It's all about, like, who you're with, the setting, the surrounding, the context, all of it. And then it's like, yeah, girl, you are awesome. Like, I'm your hype man. You be my hype man.
Yeah.
We be our own. We have to be our own hype man. And it's...
kind of have that positive environment around you.
It also comes into play, like, you have to learn to not care what others say. Like, I know what I am. If you have a different opinion on me, that's completely you. It's not my job to fix that opinion or change that opinion, because it's like, I know what I am at the end of the day.
And also because it can get so draining for you to try to like have other people see you the way that you want to see you, and it's like if they already made a decision about you and how they perceive you, it's gonna be that.
No matter how nice you are, people are always going to find something negative about you. Always. You can be the sweetest person in the world, the kindest person in the world. People are always going to have something negative to say. That's just... That's on them, though. Yeah. That's something in them that they... Because I used to be like that. I can say that because I used to be like that. Again, I was such a negative Nancy back then. I was so negative, and I'm like, yeah, they're nice, but... Yeah, they're this, but... And it's like, oh, like... why are we like this? Like, now I'm like, ew, that was gross. Like, that was disgusting. Now I'm like, wow. Yeah, now when someone comes to me like, oh, I don't feel good enough, I'm like, okay, you don't feel good enough, but, and then I'll say positive things. And it changes the whole dynamic. It changes your attitude, because you feel good, because you were able to uplift someone else instead of dragging them down with you. And it's just, that's what a lot of people need to learn how to do, is just... what's in here that's making you be like that out there? Because you are a mirror. I think
also a lot of people don't hold themselves accountable. And I think it's okay. Like, sometimes when I see, like, and I can say, like, if I'm looking at something, let's say on social media, and I'm like, I didn't really like how she said, like, I don't know this person, first of all. And then I, like, check it, and I think it's a process of, like, growth. I check it really quick. I'm like, that was ugly of me. I don't know this person. Live your life, girl. Like, and I can just continue. But I think it's a self-awareness too, and I do think some people, I won't say everybody, kind of lack of that, or even, like, within friends. That's why I always say it's so important to have, like, a good circle of friends or like associates around you, because I do think that if I'm venting to you and I'm like, oh, I feel sad and low and whatever, what should be reciprocated is also truth. Like, oh, maybe it's because you haven't been doing what you said you were going to do or something. And people automatically think, like, oh, she's a bad friend. Let me go talk to someone that's going to tell me, like, yes, go lay in bed and swallow your tears. You know what I mean? And
I tell my close friends, my close circle, do you want comfort or do you want answers?
Right.
And it's like, I'll comfort you, but I'm not going to coddle you. Yeah, exactly. We're grown. You're not a child. I'm going to tell it to you how it is. I don't like to sugarcoat things, because I don't want someone sugarcoating things for me. Exactly. If I'm coming to you with a problem, I want you to tell me how it is. Not because you're my friend and you're saying something that you think I want to hear, but something that I need to hear. Yeah. Because growing up, I had a lot of that. I had a lot of people, tough love tell me, like, this is what needs to happen. But I took that as, like, oh my God, like, you're being so inconsiderate. Like, I'm a mess. But now that the roles are switched and my friends come to me, I'm like, this is what you need. You may not see it like this now, because I was in that position not that long ago, but in the future, you're gonna look back and be like, damn, you were right. Yeah. And I'm gonna be there for you. I'm gonna let you cry and I'm gonna let you vent. And if you want me to tell you something, I will. If not, I will keep it to myself and I'll pray over you and just keep it pushing. But I never sugarcoat anything. I keep telling it to you how it is, because that's what I want. I want someone to do the same with me, because I'm not a child. Yeah. And it all comes down to feeling secure with yourself. It's like, I agree. I can trust myself to be able to handle what this person has to tell me. If I can't, if I feel like they're, it's hurting my feelings, or I'm going to have a breakdown, then I have to back away, because that is not it's not their problem at the end of the day. It's not. I
think that just comes with the actual, like, growth and, like, understanding, like, friendships as an adult. Yes. I feel like as kids, that's okay. You don't, it's not like you don't know better, but you don't know any better. Like, you haven't really, like, kind of like you said earlier, you might think that you've gone through a lot of stuff, but it's just like, and maybe some people have, because as kids, some kids do go through a lot. But I think that once you get older, you start realizing what was really that deep, what wasn't, and then who wanted the best for you and who really didn't care. You know?
Exactly.
So that's a good one. Okay. Yeah. Let's go with the other one. Did you think that was deep?
No.
Okay,
I mean,
perfect. Let's get to a deep one.
It was good, but I mean,
You're like, shoot me with the
I
next
want
one.
deep.
Let's go with this one. Let's go. Let's see
I'm
if we
scared
can
now.
if we can give her that. Let's see. Okay, you're gonna hear it again. I'm over here struggling. Okay, this one says. Okay. Does the concept of true love set unrealistic expectations? Is the idea of true love the perfect, so deep connection that sets people up for disappointment, or is it the beautiful ideal worth that someone strives for?
Wait, read that last part again.
Is it?
Let me see.
Here's a question. No, I wrote in cursive, so I don't want you to see that one.
She said I
One
can't.
second.
She said I can't read
She
cursive.
can't read cursive. No, just kidding. My cursive is like long, so I don't even think I can understand it
I got
sometimes.
the first part. It was just the last sentence.
Okay, let me put it from the beginning of this last sentence.
Okay.
Is the idea of true love the perfect, so deep connection that sets people up for disappointment, or is it a beautiful ideal worth striving for?
I think that depends on what it is that everybody wants different things. Your idea of love may look different than my idea of love, and vice versa. 'Cause
What
you
is
could
your
ask-
idea of love?
My idea of love. Well, for me, it's God. God is love. That's,
Correct.
In simple terms, God is all this, God is all that, blah, blah, blah. But God is love. Like, He is what we should strive to be. Oh, my bad. He is what we should strive to be every day. Love is... Then we get into the Bible, my scripture. Love is patient, love is kind. You know, it doesn't keep no record of wrongdoings. And it's true. I think, but love, like in like a partner, or like love.
No, just you were going in the right direction.
It's because, girl, now my racing thoughts
Because
are
I think
all over
I
the
think
place.
it can go in the direction of like, okay, so kind of said, love is God, right?
Yeah.
And God is love.
God is everything.
So if you're going into that direction, taking it into, like, you can break it down within like partners and like friendships and just in general. How do you think people?
I mean, because there's a lot of different kinds of love. Love is love, yeah, but I feel like it's very vague, and you got to break it down. Because love between like a mother and a child, like that's
Yeah.
unconditional love. Like no matter how that child turns out, you know, you're gonna love that child because it came from you. It's half of you and your partner. But when it comes to like relationships, like with friends or romantic relationships, again, that depends on what it is you're wanting in that season and what they're wanting in that season. Because what you want now may not be with the same thing you want later, and
Yeah.
vice versa. For me, since we're talking about me, love for me is honesty, devotion, loyalty, which is very rare these days. Very rare.
I agree.
Yeah, because I mean, that's pretty much it. Honesty, devotion, and loyalty. Because you can love someone, just like, 21 Savage said once, you can love somebody and still stab them in their bag. Love don't mean nothing. It's loyalty that counts, because you can hate or love them, but because you're loyal to them, you ain't going to do them wrong. So that for me is loyalty over love any day. Because it's like, we could have our bad days. You can be going through something that I may not know about, and vice versa. And this goes to both romantic and friendships. You got stuff going on, I got stuff going on, but at the end of the day, like, we know what it is. Like, we're not going to do each other wrong. We're not going to make each other look dumb. And yeah, it's patient for sure. But loyalty, which is nowadays, because of this little thing, and the illusion of options that there are, it's rare. It's rare. And love, I would say love is you, because you can only meet someone as much as you meet yourself. And if you don't show up for yourself, you are not going to show up for anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Like, you have to love yourself to love others. I thought that was so cliche, because I was like, no, I have so much love to give. But man, I didn't love myself at the time because I was so angry and bitter.
Yeah. And
then that's why none of my relationships worked, because I was always like, what do you need? What do you want? I was very pick-me, very anxious. And now I'm at a place where it's like, if I don't show up for myself, I can't show up for anybody else.
You have like
whether
standards and boundaries.
Exactly. So now it's like, you look at people and you see how far they meet themselves to know, okay, they can meet me that far, at least halfway, But it's so crazy, because this season of my life, to get personal and stuff, I just went through a breakup, and it was terrible. And
How long ago?
Girl, I left him December 28th. I entered the new year single. The new year single.
Wait,
Not by choice, but December 28th was the night it all
How
happened.
long were you guys together?
Not long. We're barely gonna make 5 months.
Okay.
But girl, so much happened in 5 months.
Felt like 5 years.
So much happened in those 5 months, and yeah, he's still trying to get back. But again, loyalty, I can't. It's a deal breaker for me. People have different deal breakers. Again, love looks different for everybody. Some people may require a lot, and some people don't. It just depends on who you're asking. So for me, I don't think I require a lot, but apparently nowadays, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So
I do think that, so kind of like to pick on the question and then piggyback on what you said.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with the first part that you said about like God is love.
God is love.
So I think, I don't know, and then you can disagree or agree. So while we have different types of relationships with people and how we love one another, I do think that the whole concept of true love does set unrealistic expectations if you don't know that God is love. Does that make sense?
Yes, because you have nothing to base it on.
Exactly.
Because you can see all these rom-com movies and, social media portrays love as rainbows and unicorns, and it's not like real world love. It's hard. That's why it says like you have to carry your own cross. It's gonna be, life is not all rainbows and butterflies and unicorns. Like it's about who's there when it's not good.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's so easy to be there for someone or be with someone when things are all good. Yeah. But life isn't always going to be all good. It's about who's there when it's dark in the storm. And that'll tell you a lot about a person, how they handle conflict, not just with you, but with themselves. Yeah. And then you decide if you want that for yourself or not. And if not, God is always going to make it better. God never changes. People change all the time. We change every day. Like, we'll change next week and not even be aware of it. But God will never change. He will never, ever change. And there's security in knowing that.
Exactly.
Like, no matter what's going on down here and what my situation, my life looks like at the time, God going to do it every time. Because he don't change. He orchestrates all bad things for his glory and his good.
Period. Can I get a little?
Yeah, period. How do they do it? The
no sound. But yes. No, I agree. And I do think like with the whole social media, because especially like now, like I log in like, TikTok, right? And sometimes it does make me like, I wish I could just dig into people's brains and like figure out exactly what it is. But like, let's go back to like the whole Valentine's concept, right? I think that a lot of people have this idea of like, if your man or you as a girlfriend or whatever doesn't do anything for me, they don't love you or they don't appreciate you. Like, they have to bring you the moon and the stars, right? And then on social media, you see all these things of like, go get your girl that Pandora ring. Pandora always, every Valentine's, gotta bring up a new ring.
Pandora
Leave the rings alone.
Yeah.
Literally. And so everybody like, you fall into that whole like, oh, like, he doesn't love me because he doesn't buy me gifts, or he's not buying me the flowers, or like even like the whole, I don't know if you know about like the 19th of September, you get like yellow flowers.
Yeah, okay. the yellow flowers.
And then, so that's another thing. But
dang. I'm like, dang.
But it's just like, sometimes I look at it, and for example, like, some people will tell you that if there's like some couples, like, I don't celebrate Valentine's Day like that. Like, I think every day should be a day of love, And I am a person that my like what is it called, my
love language,
it's acts of service.
Okay.
And I think, and like just like kind of like affirmation, like reassurance and stuff with certain things, not like you wake up and you're like, hey, I love you. You make sure, not like that. But I think I'm big on acts of service. If like you say you're gonna do something, you do it, and that is not even for me, for yourself. Like that, I just know that you're showing up for yourself as much as I'm showing up for me, right? And I think if somebody else's love language is gifting or whatever it is, I think that's why it's so important to know who you're dating or who you're surrounded with, because then it's so easy to fall into the idea of like, oh, well, they don't love me because of this.
They didn't get me anything.
Yeah, but or somebody else putting it in your head that, oh no, girl, he's supposed to get you this. He's like, he does. Leave him. Let that man go. You know what I mean?
Back to you being secure in yourself.
Yes.
And in your relationship.
Yes.
Because again, it is all about getting to know somebody. My love language may look different from your love language, but if I'm telling you what my love language is, and you know what my love language is, and you don't do that, of course I'm gonna think that you don't.
And that's different.
And I'm not telling you to figure it out or read my mind. No, I'm telling you, hey, like, this is what I like. This is how I feel more loved and more secure and stable in this relationship. And whether or not you choose whatever you choose to do with that information, we'll go from there.
Right.
But so it just depends. Like, everybody's love language is different for sure. My love language is definitely words of affirmation, and physical touch and quality time. Gifts and like material stuff, I think that's the last thing for me. Acts of service is nice too. I want to add on to what you said about how it's important that they do what they say they're gonna do and not just say they're gonna do it, because it's a dependability thing at that point. I want to be able to depend on my person. I don't want to depend on a man. I want a dependable man that if push comes to shove, something's gonna happen. I can depend on us to get through it because you say you're going to do something and I say I'm going to do something. And we both pull our own weight and we make it happen. And that is why I say, in the most cocky place ever, my word is gold. If I tell you something, I hold so much pride over my word. Like, that's why I'm like, if I'm uncertain about something, I'm not going to speak on it. But me, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Like, that's just... Because in today's world, it's so much talk and not enough action.
I agree.
It's a lot of talk, and that's what social media is. It's all fake. Like it's a lot of talk. It's a lot of talk, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Yeah, a lot of people were posting on TikTok, their man decorating their room and this and that. And then I saw this girl post like, oh, he did all this. He did all this, but then we had like the biggest argument ever.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
And it's like, girl, like,
no,
you can't. It's all fake.
Yes.
Social media is all fake.
So take it with
Enjoy your real life.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. And
surround yourself with genuine people, real people.
I agree. And I think people need to stop pushing it to others that someone has to... You don't know people's situations sometimes either. So you don't know. And you don't know what makes that person happy.
Exactly.
Like, and people want to push all these expectations on other people of how their relationship should be because... that's how their relationship happens to be. And even with like friendships, I think that's why now it's so hard to find like kind of who you're saying
genuine friends.
Yeah.
And girl, jealous friends are worse than like your enemies.
Yeah.
Jealous females. I don't know how it is for a man in the man world, but I know y'all be getting down too. But as a woman, jealous friends who don't celebrate your successes genuinely will ruin you. And that is why I've learned, because I have been through so much, I've learned that to keep certain things to myself, even if we're considered friends. I don't... Because at the end of the day, you don't have to make all that noise. Your success will do it for you. Yeah. And that's why comparison is the thief of joy. It really is. You get on TikTok, you see all these lavish lifestyles. Whole time, they can't even feed themselves.
No, right.
Like, we on the beach, but we hungry. It's so much. Like, it's just so much.
That's why even when people are talking about, like, people laugh and they say, like, whenever they say, what is it called? I only had enough for, like, the down payment and stuff like that. Some people's life really is like that. Like, they... are focused on just living like lavish and forget like, oh, I have to also grocery shop and furniture.
It's all seeking like validation from like other people and just not being content with where they are. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to want more and be hungry for more, not at all. But at the same time, you have to learn to stop where you are, take a look around, and be like, okay, I've made a few steps. I'm not where I want to be. Yeah. But I'm not in the same place where I was.
Yeah, I'm not going backwards.
Exactly. Yeah. But the comparison is the thief of joy, though. I'm very, very big on that. Girl, I'm very big on that.
I feel like you want to spill some tea on that. I feel like you do. I don't know.
I mean, okay, so before...
yes, I do.
Yes. All right, so... when I say comparison is the thief of joy, is because, a lot of people are married now. They have their kids. And, girl, that's all I wanted for the longest. And I would see everyone posting, like, their... And I still do, And no shade. I'm happy for you guys. It's a blessing. And I know God will do it on his time. He knows what I want. But I would always compare my life to theirs. Like, they'd be moving in with their significant other and, getting engaged and proposed to. And I have, like, the big, will you marry me proposals. And then they announce their babies after. And it's like, dang, like, when is it my turn?
Yeah.
Like, when is it me? Like, I want that. And it's instead of, and that was a very selfish thing too, is instead of, celebrating their successes and, their blessings heading their way, it's like, that's taking away from me.
Yeah.
They say, well, I don't know if y'all heard that, but when you see the people around you getting blessed with what it is that you want, that means God is in the neighborhood. God is in the neighborhood, and I'm just like, Lord, I'm ready for you to knock on my door. Knock on my door. And I see that because a coworker is pregnant. I know like 3 people that are pregnant right now, and not now, but because I'm going through that whole breakup thing. But at the time when I was with my last person, I really did think he was it, and I was like, ooh, like, this is it. It's happening. It's happening. No.
I'm single.
It's not. And at this point right now, I don't want it, but I know that I still do want it, just not now.
Yeah.
And so I find comfort in knowing that, okay, God, it's in God's hands. I'm leaving it in God's hands, because the more I'm like fighting for it, and I'm like, please, Lord, please. I'm like, ugh. He's looking at me like, girl, you ain't ready yet.
You know what though? I think you said you broke up with him, right?
Yeah,
okay.
I did. Mm-hmm.
And I think that takes something that a lot of people don't talk about. That it takes a lot of. It takes a lot.
It takes a lot.
Because especially when I feel like whether you love the person or you see potential, you see a life with them or whatever the case may be, it hurts. I mean, it's a natural, heartbreak.
Yeah.
But I can say, especially if someone else is like going through something similar, I can say that I applaud everybody that's able to do it because it takes, one, a lot of strength, but also it shows how much you value yourself.
Yes.
Because I don't know what happened, but in the sense of like, sometimes so many people hold on because kind of like your idea, like let's say you were like, no, this is the person, I don't care what he does. I need a baby now and I need to be married,
exactly.
And a lot of people have that, like they fall in love with that idea that they don't care. Exactly. And then later on what happens, he keeps cheating on you, you're married, like now you have kids with this person, then unfortunately, like, now your kids are living through this situation as well. And at the end of the day, I feel like it's so beautiful to see that you saw that value within yourself, because I feel like that's also something that nowadays people lack of. Like, they don't see themselves as a prize. And I think everybody should just see themselves as like, oh, I know my worth.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love you, but I just wish the best for you. I don't want to do that to me, and you're not part of my
future, biggest thing is my kids can't pick their dad, but I can pick my partner for them. That's my big thing. Like, oh my goodness, because I know that I want kids. I want to give my kids everything that I didn't have growing up. Yeah. And so I was shown exactly what not to do growing up. That now I'm like, nah, like this, we're good. I hate, it hurts, it sucks, it's hard to choose yourself. It really is. It's not easy. It's really not, especially coming from someone that cares a lot about people. You just want to help people, but nobody can help them but God, so all you can do is pray for them. But I am I have to be really, really careful with, who I have kids with. And I feel like God freed me from that, for real. I dodged a bullet. I've dodged several bullets. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? Okay, next.
and I do think it's going to come, like, when you least expect it.
That's what they always say.
I know. You said the cliche thing.
That's the cliche. And
But I do think it's going to come when you least expect it, because I feel like there's probably something that you don't know that you're still working on within yourself. Maybe it's in the works and I don't know of it. But I do think that, like, the way I see it now is, like, and a lot of people, again, probably are like, oh, shut up. But I do think that exactly what you said, like, you let go of something because there's a bigger blessing coming your way. And you don't know it yet, but you don't know.
There's always better coming. And I have to, even if I don't believe that, even though like it's hard to believe that sometimes, I have to keep telling myself. Yeah. There's always better. I always think about that one picture I saw where it's like a little girl holding a little teddy bear, and God is like in front of her,
with the big,
and is like, he's like, give it to me, and she's like, no, I want this teddy bear. And the whole time he has a huge, like a bigger teddy bear behind him, and he's like, give it to me. I have something better for you. She's like, no, that's me right now. I'm holding on to this small teddy bear, knowing that God has a huge teddy bear. Yeah. But I know he's not. That's the thing too. If you say you're gonna let go of something, you have to let go of it. And that's me. I'm in that gray area where I'm like letting go, but like also holding on to it. And that's how I know God will not give me that blessing, because I will mishandle it, for one, and two, I haven't fully let go of the small teddy bear, because I need both hands to hold that big teddy bear. You're like, give me both, the small one. I can't. I can't have one hand fighting with the other. So yeah, it'll happen. I know it will. he wouldn't put that desire in my heart if it wasn't meant for me, but all on his timing. But I'm like, come on, Lord, please knock on my door.
No, I do think that, I mean, it's I do think it's going to come in, and I pray it does for you. But I think it's like, it's crazy how talking to you about it, it makes a lot of sense, because I've had conversations with other people, and they're just like hearing them talk about certain situations and how much they deal with their partner.
Mm-hmm. I'd be glad I'm single in that moment.
Right? And
you hear all these miserable people talking, and it's like, okay, and we're so quick to say, just leave. Especially if they don't have kids, you don't pay your bills, you don't depend on him for anything. There's no logical reason for you to stay, because again, every situation looks different. Yeah. There's kids and stuff involved. That's completely different. I'm not talking about that. I'm not married. I don't have kids, and no man pays my bills. But you look at them and you're like, well, just leave. But then when you're in that situation, because I used to be me, girl. I used to be like, girl, just leave. Like, you sound stupid.
What are you doing?
Until I was in that situation, and I was like, dang, I will never say that again, because now I understand. Like, I get it, how hard it is to actually do that for someone that you truly, genuinely care about, even though they don't care about you because of how much they mistreat you. So it's like, nobody, you can tell everybody, like, I have a million times, leave, it gets better. But until they've had enough, everyone's limit looks different. Like, some people are quick to cut someone off over the smallest things, and some people can endure more. It looks different for everybody. Yeah. But when you think about what it is you want, that's why it's so important to know, one, yourself, two, what you want. And a lot of people don't these days. They don't know what they want, and they're just figuring it out as they go. They're winging it, and that's more damaging to not just you, but to the people that you're talking to. It's like, no, I'd rather be to myself, not mess with nobody, because one, karma exists, and karma always gonna spin the block, and I'm terrified of karma. So... Karma don't miss a soul, baby. Karma don't miss a soul.
She went straight.
There's another thing. See, now I'm yapping. See, my favorite verse in the whole Bible, and I have a few, but my favorite verse is Romans, what is it, 10:19? 9:18? I'm like blanking out right now. But it says to not avenge yourself, that he's going to do it.
Do it for you.
And baby, when I tell you, every man that's ever done me wrong, and I ain't did nothing but leave, man.
Them watching this, like...
I'm looking at you. man, let God handle it, baby. Because no matter how big of a crash out I could slash your tires, break your car windows, do everything, ruin your life as much as I possibly can. It don't compare to what God is going to do. He going to do it every single time, because God don't like when his children get messed with, and I am one of his favorites. But no, for real. So, yeah, it's hard. People got to know their self-worth. If you feel like that's what you deserve and that's what you're okay with, and it's their life.
Yeah, and some people have to go through it. Like, you go through the actual pain multiple times.
That's the only way the lesson gets learned sometimes.
You know what, though? I do think... Oh, crap. I was going to ask you something, and I totally forgot. No, you're fine. I think that... Do you think... You said something along the lines of... Oh, that's what you said. You said something with, like... Me. You said something. I'm not saying nothing because I forgot what you said.
You said a whole lot of nothing.
But no, you said something, and I can't remember. But my question to it, maybe it makes sense once I ask it. Do you think it's... Oh, you said people don't know what they truly want. Sometimes that's the problem. Do you think that the problem is also that people don't take their time getting to know the person that they are potentially going to date, or whatever the case may be?
I don't think it's necessarily that. I think it's they don't take the time to get to know themselves.
That's a good one, too.
And because if you don't know yourself, then you're definitely not going to get to know someone else.
Well, first and foremost, I don't think you should even be dating if you don't.
Exactly. Yeah. But girl, when I tell you... that there are people out here that are content with... being like after girl after girl after girl after girl. I mean, that's on them. Like, that's something that they need to work on. People that drink a lot, people that smoke a lot, like, and I'm not saying that I don't do any of that stuff, but no, I'm saying like people that like day in and day out, like they're running away from something within themselves that they don't want to face, whether it be a childhood wound, whether it be a toxic ex that did something to them. It's whatever the case may be.
It stems from something.
It stems from something. They, instead of dealing with it and processing it and letting it go to live a more, not just satisfactory life, but a more loving life, then it's never going to happen. You're just running away from whatever it is that is making you feel like you need to do these things. Does that make sense? Because when I was going through the breakup, I was smoking and drinking a lot. me exposing myself. I was smoking and drinking a lot.
Let me post the clips really quick right here of her.
Just zoom in on my face.
Let me go to her stories, her archives.
Oh my God, no, please. I go off social media.
I know. You delete your social media.
I block you. No, but then when you get to a point where it's like, this isn't, it just made me more sad. Like them highs, what goes up comes down. And so it's a depressant. Alcohol and like drugs and stuff, it's a depressant. Like it is a depressant. And it just made me feel worse after. So I stopped, and I'm dealing with it, and I'm in a much better place now than I was when I was smoking and drinking. It makes a difference.
I've always said that too. I don't do either.
It's temporary
But
distraction.
I do think that I've always like, I never understood it either, because I've always said like, well, tomorrow's gonna be the same thing.
Yeah.
And then if you're not drinking, I think that's why a lot of people become alcoholics and stuff, because they don't want to, exactly what you said, they don't want to deal with the reality of things. But I do think sometimes, not all the times. I do think that what did I ask you? Yes, I do think that sometimes people don't take the time to, it's different. And maybe this is my opinion, but I do think that a lot of people jump so quick into like relationships. Like they, you know how people talk about the honeymoon stage and
that's
stuff?
all because people do that because they don't want to be alone.
Yes, exactly.
They're so...
And that's a problem.
Like, that is the problem. People need to learn how to be alone. They can't depend on anybody, because that's just a toll on you and that person.
Yes.
It's not fair. It's not fair. At that point, you're losing already before it even starts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that whole honeymoon phase thing, like, yeah, it's the honeymoon phase to me with what my ex taught me, because, again, we weren't together that long. But, we never had a honeymoon phase. Like, it was bad from the beginning. But I say that to say this, like, honeymoon, it shouldn't be, of course it's exciting to get to know someone, all the possibilities that you come up with, and the potential, like you mentioned earlier, and you start to envision your whole life with them. That's when you need to slow down.
Yes.
And
especially so early on.
And until you see them in their absolute worst, because again, anybody can put on a facade, a show. Until you see them with no money, no food, like in their worst,
like struggling or something.
That is when their true selves come out. When they're angry,
and how they treat you,
and how they deal with said anger. That will tell you.
And also how you said how they deal with their own problems themselves. Like, are they able to find a solution? Yeah. Do they just look to?
Are they looking for someone else to solve their problems? Yeah. Like, no.
But I think, like, for example, I'll speak from my personal life. Please. I feel like I believe, and I can say that because now I am in a very like loving relationship where I can say that we've been dating for 10 years. No, just kidding. We've been dating for 3 years. And whenever we first started talking, I remember him saying, like, do you believe in, like, the honeymoon phase thing, right? Based on, like, previous relationships and things like that, I've always, like, heard of it, like, yeah, like, it was just, like, a temporary thing. And especially if it's like people say, like, it's a 3-month mark. Or whatever. And then after that, like, what happens?
It's not necessarily the honeymoon's a 3-month mark. It's that nobody can hold up a facade longer than 3 months.
Yeah, it's like the whole, like, habit thing, And I remember we talked about it and we went deep into conversation. And I always said, like, no, I firmly believe that the honeymoon phase should never end. Exactly. Especially whenever you, like, have that love, because loving someone is a choice. And that's why I never believe that someone can fall out of love, because you choose to love that person every single day, right? And so when someone tells you they don't love you anymore, like, it's just like they're choosing not to try anymore. They're choosing not to love you. Oh my God, that was me speaking real facts that I couldn't. No, I forgot to tell you guys too. I'm sick. I'm just dying out here.
This weather don't help it either.
I think that, so I remember, like, kind of, like, hearing that, and it was something new to me in my relationship, that we were potentially going to go into, because we weren't dating at that time. But I can say that 3 years later, like, it's the same thing. Like, nothing has changed. Like, they're still...
That's how long y'all have been together? 3 years?
3 years, yeah.
I've been following y'all for that long. I remember when he was living... Like, y'all were long distance.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, Lord, I've seen what you've done for others. Please knock on my door.
And, it's crazy. I always said, like, the same thing. Like, I was like, because I've never dated anybody, like, long distance or anything like that. And I really do think that when you put God first in your relationship, everything else just flows. And his
what
plan.
God brings together, nothing can separate.
Correct. And so I feel like, for example, even with like the little things that he does, that's why I say, like, kind of what you said, it's so important that you see what they do and how their actions are behind it, because it has not changed. And I feel like it can happen because, again, loving someone is a choice. Exactly. So I do think that sometimes if you don't ask those questions, like, we're not kids anymore where it's like, what's your favorite color? No. Like,
I'm over it.
Literally, like, ask,
I'm over it.
How
What's
many kids do you have? No, because it does get to a point where a lot of people just jump into it because they did one nice gesture for them. And now it's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to marry that man. But it's kind of like, no, like, what both things are you guys going to bring to the table? How do they see their future individually? How do they see it potentially together? Just so many things that come behind it. And sometimes it's okay to talk to a person for a while and then know, like, oh, I like you.
Take your time.
But it's also okay to be like, it's not, I like you, but you're not the right person for me. And that's okay. You know, you just move on.
It all depends on what everybody wants.
Yeah. So if you just met someone yesterday, please don't start dating today.
Take your time. I always tell my friends this because I have a friend, and if she sees this, she knows what I'm talking about. She gets so infatuated so quick with these guys, and it's the same type of guy. It's the same lesson in different bodies, and I tell her all the time, you're getting excited too quick. Take your time, girl. She'll learn eventually. I love her.
Not yet, but
I love
soon.
her. But God's timing, not mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. If anything, I feel like I'm at a point in my life where it's going to take me time to even want something with the opposite sex. So it's like...
Do you think it comes from also, like, your... how was your upbringing? Like, how was your parents' relationship?
So my parents are divorced. I got divorced when I was 14. But they're good. They're like amicable now, so that's a blessing. They're good co-parents. They get along and everything now. But at the time, it was messy, obviously. My mom so I have a younger brother. He's 21, and then I have an older sister who is 33.
Oh my God, I did not know you had a brother.
Yeah, we don't talk about him. I didn't grow up with him. That's why I say that.
Okay.
Because we're all from different dads. Mom was busy. We're all from different dads. And my dad had to work 2 jobs to, feed my mom, me, and my sister. My brother lived with his dad and his wife. So it's very messy. But so growing up, I saw a lot of violence. There was a lot of domestic violence at home, like a lot of hitting, a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming. That's why I was very angry, because I was like, I would tell my mom, like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you with him?
Yeah.
Because I saw all that. My sister, when she got pregnant, she left the house. I was alone in the house with my mom, and he would just come, my brother's dad, he would come and be like the man, act like the man of the house, even though he didn't pay a single bill there, while my dad was at work providing for us. And my dad knew about him. Like, my dad was willing to take in my brother and raise him as his own. Like, that's just the kind of man my dad is. He took in my sister whenever she was 6, because she's 7 years older than me. So he took in my sister, raised her as his own. Then I came in the picture. We raised us. My mom never worked a day in her life until she was in her 40s when they got divorced. Because my dad was like, enough. Like, Raquel is not a little girl anymore. I'm out. Like, I don't have no reason. Because he stayed because of me, because I was a baby. Yeah. I'm his only baby. I'm a daddy's girl. And my brother, I would see him maybe like once a month, if at that, but because his dad would dangle him over my mom to get her to do what he wanted. So it was just a lot of manipulation, a lot of gaslighting, a lot of narcissism, a lot of violence. And so seeing that, and in a way I'm glad, because I'm not naive to it, because now when I see it from a mile away. I can tell just by off a 5-minute conversation, oh, you're a narcissist. Like, I just met you and you're a narcissist, you're trying to gaslight me. I'm immune to that because I grew up seeing that kind of stuff. So again, when I am talking to people and I see something weird, I'm like, nah. So early on, it's those little people will tell on themselves each and every time.
That's what you say. Also, you're a people watcher.
Yeah, I'm a big people watcher. I'm a big people watcher. And people will tell themselves all the time, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to say nothing. You don't have to...
They ramble a lot.
You don't have to do anything. Just watch. And that's the thing about us women, I will say to the men. Us women, we need to learn how to shut up sometimes. we talk a lot trying to get our point across. We're not this, we're not that.
Wasting energy.
But girl, hush. Like... Silence is more sometimes. Silence is our power move. It really is. And that's they go crazy over that. Because I can be arguing with him for day in and day out. He's like, I still got her. Like, I got it right here. But the second I'm quiet,
they're scared.
Oh, now it's a problem. Now he want to act right. No. Next. So yeah, like I've seeing all that growing up. It was I didn't have a healthy home. That's why I was very angry. I was very angry, very bitter. I felt like the world owed me something because I went through so much as a kid. Nah. And the whole time it was like, you know, it gets better. Because in that time, girl, I felt like my life was I was stuck.
Yeah.
But no, now that I'm grown, I have free will. I can do whatever I want. I'm on a podcast. You know, we're doing big things out here. It gets better. It really does. That's so cliche. Because I heard that all the time in counseling, at school, like in therapy. It gets better. It's going to get better. It does. We don't know when, but it eventually does. It does get better. Just be patient.
And I think that's a great example of like also maybe when you were younger, because I know you said you were an angry kid, things like that. Mm-hmm. But also when you were younger, you probably weren't seeing that, you know, like you were just seeing
it was
the
just darkness, yeah.
And now I think that's also a reason why maybe you're quick to leave when you peep something or whatever the case may be. And I think
because I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
That. My kids aren't gonna live that. None of that.
Yeah, and it's a blessing in disguise because I feel like same thing with my parents. Well, like just they got divorced at when I was 9. So I think for me it's the same thing. Like I think I can be very quick to just kind of be like, you know, just because you know it's kind of more clear of what you want in the future. You know what I mean? And then sometimes people grow up in a very, very loving home that they seek that, and it's so hard for them to let go of somebody.
That. When people, I think about it. I mean, I didn't grow up in a loving home, but you know, you can't help but to think the what ifs. People who were brought up in a loving home, they tend to give the benefit of the doubt way more.
Yeah. Because
it's unfamiliar to them, like chaos and all that. For me, chaos is very familiar, very familiar. So
you kind of run away from it.
No? Now I do. Now that I've done the proper work within me, because my relationships were very unhealthy, and I thought that was normal because of my upbringing. I was like, well, this is what love is. Yeah. This is what all I know, and you find comfort in that chaos. But then that all goes back to like that work you got to do in yourself and say, I don't want this. This is not healthy. This is not normal. My childhood was unfortunate, but you know, I'm in a way you got to find that silver lining and say, I was shown everything that I don't want, because I remember how I felt seeing my mom go through all that stuff, you know. Yeah. And as a kid, you can't do much, you know, at the time. But now that you're an adult, you can sit back and be like, okay, no, that was not healthy. That was not okay. Yeah. None of that was good.
What was that? What was going on?
Yeah, what was that? So it just... There's so many different kinds of people, dude. And that's why I'm so social now. Because I make conversation. I'm like, okay, you're cool to be around with. I'm going to stay away from you. You're cool to hang around with. I'm going to stay away from you. And you just
meet different people.
The discernment gets strong. The discernment, that gut feeling, like the opinion. And it's not judging. It's okay. You're not really my vibe. You're not really aligning with what it is I want for my life personally. There's someone out there for you, but it ain't me.
Yeah, and I think that's back to the same thing like we were saying earlier. Like, that's okay. Like, I feel like a lot of people think that every girl you meet, like, that's just friendships and stuff, that you have to be best friends with them. Yeah. They have to be in your life.
I'm one of the guys, man. Yeah. Don't be doing none of that weird stuff over here. Like, I'm a homie.
Like, you don't have to. And also, like, it's okay to have, like, associates. Like, you don't have to text them every single day. Exactly. You don't have to talk to them. Exactly. You don't have to invite them anywhere. I feel like a lot of people are not meant to be in your life, and that's okay. Like, and
for
I think
a season.
Yeah,
and people want to keep them longer than that, but no.
And then you don't know how much more like harm is causing you, because they're just not meant to be in your life, and you're just trying to take them in and give them a home and all this stuff. And
just be genuine. That's it. But man, like, it's so hard these days, apparently. Like, it's just... But there's so many counterfeits out here. And they see that. Like, they see that you're a good person, and they don't want no one else to have you because you're a good person. But it's like, you're not giving me nothing to work with here.
Yeah.
Because I gotta go.
Yeah, what am I... Wasting your time.
Yeah.
And time... Somebody said... I could be saying this completely wrong. I always get, like, quotes wrong. But everybody always talks about, like, time... what is it called? Time goes by so quickly, or like time flies, something like that. But it's like saying, like, some girl said, it was like, I stopped looking at time as more so like memories, like replacing time as far as memories.
Okay. And seeing experiences, replacing time with experiences and memories. I think I've seen that before.
And so kind of seeing it like, and it kind of opened my eyes in a different way, because we talk about time a lot, like, oh, I don't have enough time, or this and this and that, time. And I think sometimes, like, you see it differently whenever you want to remember some things and you want like good memories.
Yeah.
Think of it of like, would you want that person to be a part of that memory? Would you want them to be something that you remember? And kind of shifts your perspective of like, is this like, if you're in an abusive relationship, is that all you want to remember when you look at your 20s?
Exactly.
Like, oh, I was always dealing with nasty behavior or whatever. Or do you want to have memories to share to like your future kids or whatever, saying like, no, I had loving friendships, and, you know, I met this girl once walking down the street. She was cool. I hope she's doing okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's not necessarily saying, like, she's your aunt now. Like, not like that. But, like, you just have those experiences.
Those
and
little
I think
interactions, you don't know how big they are to someone either. Like, that's why it's so important to be kind, because you don't know what people are going through. Everyone's going through something. Life is hard. Life is hard as it is. Like, we don't need to make it harder for each other. And that also plays a big part in choosing your partner correctly, because life is hard for me and for them, and if we're just adding on to that and it becomes a battlefield,
it's like a burden.
We're gonna sink.
Yeah.
We're gonna sink instead of getting off the ship early. You just reminded me of this girl. She was on TikTok. She said, the longer you stay on the wrong train, the harder it is for you to find your way back. And it's true. Ooh, man, when I heard that, I was like, yeah, so you got to get out immediately. Don't sit around and wait and see what happens, because no, they've shown you. At that point, you're giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
You're thinking about what it is you would do in their shoes. And unfortunately, they're not always going to do what you would do. And that's just in their nature. That's them as a person. Don't try to change them, because it's useless, it's pointless. Nobody can change nobody. The only person that can change them is themselves, because they want to. And that's another thing. People will temporarily change to what you want just to keep you around a little longer. But with time, that inconsistency will show. So you just got to be on the lookout for that. You just got to watch. You got to watch. Take those rose-colored glasses off. Because, man, love is blind. You know how they say that? Love is blind.
You know.
You don't see it when you're in it, but everybody around you saw it. Your friends, your family, the mailman.
I know, and I think
Everybody.
Sometimes it's like we want to be rebels, because it's like everybody sees it and they're telling you, and we hate when people tell us there's certain things, and then there you are.
That's an ego thing, though.
It is.
That's an ego thing.
So ego's
a very dangerous thing too. It's a very, very dangerous thing if not held at a balanced
scale. Balance. You know what you mean.
Girl, yes.
But before we kind of close out this whole thing, I want to say one thing I do want to say, that I appreciate you so much, because I think that whenever I put like the form for people to do, like,
immediately. I was so quick with it.
But I love that so much, because I think that a lot of people, whether they want to do it or not, maybe some people don't want to do it. If you don't want to do it, it's fine. I'm not looking for you to do it. But I think like sometimes we shy away from things just because we were like, no, she didn't look for me, or he didn't look for me, then I'm not going to put again, ego, you know?
Yeah, it's
like,
an ego
and I
thing.
think like, it's so much beauty, because I love learning about people. You know, like we said, like we've known each other since 5th grade, but there's so many, or even elementary school.
Yeah,
there's so many things that we don't know about each other that I just learned about her. And that it's like a beautiful thing to just create even like memories with people and get to know them. Like right after this, we're going to go ice cream. No, I'm just kidding. But like you have like all these experiences that you just don't know, just because we are so quick to cut people off or like not give them that. What's it called? The chance. Yes. So I really appreciate that, because
of course.
I feel like a lot of people are probably
I love this. I love, like, when I saw your first video, I was like, yes. If anybody used to do it, Lally would do it.
Thank you.
Because I've been seeing like your fitness thing. I was like, girl, I'll support you from afar. And that's about it.
But no, and I appreciate that, because sometimes like even talking about like the whole I always do this. I always say before we close out, and then I started rambling again. But we're talking about like the whole comparison and like jealousy thing with friends and stuff. Sometimes it's so crazy, because it's the people that you least expect that are going to support you throughout. Some people just support the idea, because I can say when I first started like the podcast, I had like close people like message me like, oh my God, congrats and stuff like that. Cool. Never heard of them again. You know what I mean? Like, it was just kind of...
I'll get support. That's the crazy thing. I'll get support from a stranger more than like my inner circle.
Yeah.
And that's why I say jealous friends are very dangerous.
Yeah.
They're dangerous. And I can say that because I used to be a jealous friend. Again, with the whole comparison and the thief of joy. And I was like, I want that. Why are they getting
deserve
blessed?
that.
I deserve that. That was my ego.
Yeah.
That was my ego. I'm a good person. Girl, hush. Sit down. Be still. Wait.
Humble yourself.
Yeah. So, girl, when you posted that, I was like, yes, immediately. Fell out.
See, but
so when you reached out to me, I was so excited. I was so excited. I wasn't nervous until the drive up here and like walking in and seeing the whole setup.
And
It's one thing seeing the videos.
Yeah.
And oh, that's cool. Okay. But then it's another thing coming in, like you see the whole setup and it's like, wow, okay, like, what did I get myself into? I don't know if I can do this.
She's, what is it called? She's famous now.
She did it. My girl did it.
No, but I really appreciate that. So
And
I did want
seeing
to
like
say
how
that.
supportive Carter is, I'm giving Carter a shout out. Like seeing how supportive he is with the whole mics and the hearing thing, and he's behind the scenes, you know, making this whole thing flow. That's awesome, and I'm so happy for you, Lally.
Thank
Like I
you.
said, I've been following y'all since he was out of time. That's why when you said 3 years, I was like, it's been 3 years already.
He moved back.
That's crazy.
We're hoping that the year.
Yeah, we all been together for 3 years. I've been on the sidelines. Y'all just ain't know it.
No, thank you. I
So
really
that makes me
appreciate.
really happy. Anytime you want to me again, I'm right here.
No,
Just
period.
Let me know.
Let her know because
Let me know. In the comments.
I love her energy, and I think you bring such good energy
Thank you,
here.
girl.
And I think seeing your growth within, like what you were saying, because like I said, I've never seen you in that light. So I want to say that you did such a great job at like just being, you know, even though you had all that hate maybe in your heart and stuff, the fact that you never portrayed it towards people speaks a lot about yourself and your true
thank you.
character.
Thank you. God is
So I'm so glad that
If
God
I can
has you in a
change,
better
anybody
place.
can change, but you gotta put the work in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
So I kind of, before I close it out, I do want to say or ask, I guess,
Okay.
if you were to go back in time and you get to talk to yourself, your younger self, and you have to tell her just kind of like where you are now, but kind of give her one piece of advice that you know it's gonna make her realize that she will be in a better place, that it would take time. What will you tell her?
That's a good one. Let me see. About anything in general or like in specific?
Anything in general. I think it doesn't have
Okay.
to, like, maybe picture yourself in the darkest place
Okay.
that you had ever been and that you didn't think you were probably going to get out.
Okay.
But seeing you now, you know that you were able to.
I have a few things, so picking just one is hard.
Well, you can say a couple things.
Okay. I'll start with saying one, all the love that you give out, that you're so eager to give out, will find its way back to you, one way or the other, always. That's the first one. 2, it would be your people will find you. You don't have to change yourself to get what you want, because what you are is what you want. You want what you have to give. You would date yourself. Date yourself. That's 2. 3, be patient. Be patient. Everything is perfect timing, divine timing. What your timeline looks like may be different from God's timeline, but when it does happen, it's going to be perfect. Better than anything you could have ever imagined. And 4, just keep being kind. Even when you get treated nasty, just keep being kind. Pray for them and let God handle the rest, because again, God don't play about his children, and I know he don't play about me. So that's all I can say.
And that's beautiful. So I want you guys to take that advice that she said that she's given her younger self and apply it to your day-to-day life. If you are struggling with something as far as for that you feel like you're not where you are intended to be, know that God's plan is always greater than yours, and that while it sounds cliche, things do get better, and there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Always.
But I do want to say thank you so much for coming.
Oh my God, girl,
and
thank
being
you for
part of
having
it.
me. This was so fun.
Also, she has like the most beautiful eyes the whole time. I'm
Thank
like
you. It's
staring
the
into her
makeup.
soul. So if y'all see me like
I feel
staring into
I feel like Miley Cyrus. Zoom in right here. Or maybe don't.
But no,
Jump scare.
she has really, really pretty eyes. So
Thank
yeah, zoom
you.
into her eyes. But Yes, thank you so much for being part of it. And I know that you helped, once this episode is out, you're probably gonna help a lot of people, especially.
This is so fun. Reach out to people. Put your pride and ego to the side and reach out to people. It's okay.
Especially
to say
Raquel. I'm gonna put her social media stuff here below. So if you start getting random DMs, you know where it's coming from. But yeah, and if you guys want her in another episode, please let me know too, because I would love to have her in another episode. I think she did amazing, and she always has great advice and great energy.
Yes.
And that's what we're seeking 2025. Period. So also, before I close it out, I do want to say that stop being shy, and if you want to be on an episode, please don't hesitate to fill out the form.
It's fun. I haven't seen her in years.
Yes, don't be shy.
I was shy.
You're gonna be nervous at first, but try new things. You know.
Yes.
Come
Step
on
out of
over.
your comfort zone.
Yes, try new things every day. But yeah, and also, I'm so sorry about the mic, guys. This is heavy, so if you see me here, like, stretching my hand, it was really heavy, and then I'm sick, but I'm so glad that we were able to get this episode out, because I think this is a very, very good episode for you guys. Yes. But yes, once again, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me, girl.
And
it was a blast.
Thank you.
It was an honor.
Oh,
I can't wait to see it.
I know. It's going to be out today. I'm just kidding. Hopefully, I'm going to try to get it out today, but if not, you guys will see it very, very soon. And then if you guys have any questions or you're struggling with anything, feel free to reach out to either me or Raquel. Again, I will link her social media below in the description. But with that being said, I'll see you guys on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.